Green screen work can be tough. Even in big Hollywood films, you see some less than stellar keying work that just pulls you out. So it can be a very difficult and frustrating process trying to get something that sells the shot, fitting that subject in with the desired environment. So today, we have 5 tips to help make your job a little easier. Ready, steady, okay.
Ready, steady, okay. Oh, here comes tip 1.
Our first tip is all about making your actor fit into the environment we are placing them in. A great way to help sell this is camera movement. This can be done by either shooting locked off and adding movement in post, like Thompson did in this shot from our Extinction Pack promo. He also put a full VFX breakdown of that promo, which you can find in the links in the notes below. But the second and more effective way to do this would actually be to move the camera like you would in a real location. And to keep yourself from pulling your hair out in post, it's best to put some markers on the green screen to track later. Tracking markers come in all shapes and sizes and colors. Ultimately, you want something to give you a nice amount of information and pixels for your software to track. It's also easier if your tracking markers are green. Of course, this needs to be another shade of green that you can track, but then you can key them out rather than manually rotoscoping, which can, suck.
It fucking sucks, bro!
Once you have your footage in your software, which as always, we are using Adobe After Effects, but you can do the same thing in most software. I can't say it enough. It's not about the software, it's about the technique. But for us, you can either track the footage in 2D using the track motion option or Mocha AE, or if your camera moves in 3D space, you can use the 3D camera tracker. Then once you have a track, key the footage and use either a 3D background layer for the 3D track or pick whip 2D background layers to the 2D track, and now you have a synced up moving shot.
Tip 2, don't mind if I do.
Tip number 2 is to light your character to match your scene. This sounds obvious, but it's easily one of the most important and shockingly overlooked aspects of compositing. In order to really glue your character into the scene, the lighting on that foreground subject must match the lighting in the background you plan to composite them into. For instance, if your actor is going to be composited into a dark room with top lighting, you should shoot the actor in front of the green screen, which is lit normally, but then the actor is lit from above so that it visually matches the scene. And in this example here, the background image has a red light to the left of the screen, so we shot our actor with a practical red light hitting them from the same side. We also showed this technique in a really old episode where we put ourselves in the Avengers trailer as well. With something like that, it really helps to get a screenshot of your background that you can reference when lighting your subject, so you can really match it as closely as possible. Then you have practical effects on your talent. This can be something like weather or just lighting related. Like you've seen in films such as Sin City or Life of Pi, these practical effects are used to blend the scenes together, whether it's wind, rain, snow, and so on. All of these help the actor look like they're a part of the scene, which is a rule to any visual effect. As much interaction you can have within the frame, the more the effect is going to sell in the end.
Tip 3, all for me.
Tip number 3 is light wrap. Light wrap is a really handy way to help the edges of your subject blend in more with the background. Light wrap will use the background layer that you select to wrap light from your scene around them. And you can choose how strong and how wide the light wraps around your actor. It works best with brighter backgrounds and can be a really subtle but nice effect to blend it that much more. Now we have 2 more tips, but first we gotta pay them bills. $1 bills. Josh, do you feel me?
No. You're across the room.
Exactly. It's physically impossible. Domain.com is all your website needs, including .com and .net domain names and intuitive website builders to take the first steps in creating an identity online. They're affordable, reliable, and have all those tools to build a website, to start sharing your ideas with the world on a professional website. And no domain extensions are going to help you tell your story like a .com or .net domain name. And if you want to brand yourself online, Domain.com has over 300 domain name extensions to fit your needs from .club to .space. And of course, the good folks at Domain.com want to show you love by giving you 15% off their already affordable prices when you buy domain names, web hosting, and email. Just use the coupon code FilmRight at Domain.com's checkout. So when you think domain names, think Domain.com.
Logo.
Welcome back.
Give me some more. Okay, here's tip 4.
Tip number 4, if you shoot with a lower aperture, meaning you open your lens up to give more of a shallow depth of field, you can blur the screen a bit to help smooth out the green screen even more in camera. It also lowers the chance of having noisy footage, which can interfere with getting a clean key. However, depending on how much the depth of field effect is, you will want to blur your background layer in the composite to match the shot, otherwise it just looks wrong.
Surprise! Tip 5.
And our last tip is for movement. If your actor is moving a lot or you have wind blowing in the actor's hair, this can introduce messy edges in the key like you see here, since the motion you captured has a good amount of motion blur, making it hard to get a good key on those edges. And that can be really hard to fix, but a good workaround here is to film with a higher shutter speed to decrease that motion blur. The less of that blur we have, the less of an issue with blending pixels between the actor and the green screen is going to be. With a higher shutter speed, you're going to get much cleaner edges like this, but you also get that high shutter speed look, which might not be what you want for the scene. But you can always reintroduce motion blur by using something like CC Force Motion Blur, which comes free with After Effects, or Real Smart Motion Blur, which is what I'm usually using. It is a plugin that you would have to buy, but it's one of the best I've used, so there's that. And there you have it, 5 tips to make the green screening work with that extra buttery, sexy sex slapped right on there like a ham in the oven.
Perverted.
But that is it for this guy. Again, we have that sexy sale happening with sexiness and holiday sexy joy. So link in the notes, and I'll see you next time when my neck hurts real bad because it's a twin thing.